How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to My Gardening Habit. I'm Rob Mayer, and today we're just going to take a quick little tour of the garden, see what we have going on. Today is July 5th, 2021, and this is what we got going. So in the back garden here, we've got a bunch of stuff. We got a bunch of tomatoes over here, some cherry tomatoes, grape tomatoes. I grew about 12 different varieties of tomatoes this year. There's a couple Brad's Atomic grape starting to come in here. Got a bunch of pepper plants in the middle here. I have this little bamboo structure I'm putting up to kind of help trellis everything as it grows. I also grew about 10 or 12 different types of peppers. Not a lot of them did so well in the beginning, but now that they're in the soil, finally, they seem to be taking off. I got some basil mixed in, some cilantro, some marigolds, all stuff for companion planting that is supposed to help keep other pests away. Some this is, we call this Declan Special. These are, I guess, an heirloom at this point from my son. My youngest boy had planted some random little teeny tiny cherry tomato last year or the year before, and we keep on getting these ones coming back. They almost turn into like a small aroma. But then we have cherry aromas here. These are some of my favorites. Thing is doing pretty good. Over here we've got cucumbers in the back on the fence there. Tucked away back behind the fence, there's a couple little Swiss chard plants you can kind of see. And then in front of the fence we have Blue Lake bush beans. They're starting to come in now. Let's see, getting some nice ones on there. Some more Swiss chard mixed in there. And again, a bunch of tomatoes and peppers that are a little slow going. We had them in pots way too long. Not even pots, we had them in 4-inch cups way too long. I was trying to sell them and it wasn't really happening. I built this little trellis out of bamboo, and we've got our Kentucky Wonder pole beans growing up there, training them up. So then I've just got a bunch of other random containers full of stuff. That's Bailey Buttons over there. What's up, girl? I'm trying out a potato tower. And this is in a conveyor belt from a water processing plant. It's got plenty of holes for aeration, and planted the tomatoes in, and I just kept on piling soil on top. We'll see how it goes. The plants are looking pretty good at this point. I don't think I'm going to put any more soil in, so we're only about halfway on it. I've heard before that potato towers don't work, and you know, I still have hope, and I had some extra potatoes, so I figure, what the heck, see what we can get out of it. Some more tomatoes over here, some strawberries, some more Blue Lake bush beans mixed in with some Lisbon white bunching onions, a little bit of chard in there, some peppers, got some broadleaf sage, some thyme, oregano, some more tomatoes. These are all doing pretty good. Here's some more of those Brad's Atomic. Look at the color on these. And we've got a bunch of other stuff that we had left over for containers. We've got some strawberries here. Growing coxcomb this year. We got these from Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds. Never grown it before. Looks pretty awesome. Very pretty. Fuzzy flowers. Got a bunch more pepper plants here. Some serranos in the back. They're all doing pretty well. And we're also growing some huckleberry. I'm not having the best of luck with the huckleberry so far. It seems pretty small. It's definitely had some pests on it. Our friend Casey had a pretty good plant growing. I don't know if it's the size of container or the soil that she's using, but it seems to be doing great. So we're going to try to repot some of these today. Maybe put them into a couple different types of soil I picked up from Lowe's. See what we can get. Got a Carolina Reaper pepper plant here that overwintered from last year. We had that going in the greenhouse. Got a couple tomato plants, some more peppers, coxcomb. Got a pineapple growing here. My sister-in-law Shannon, she grew this and then brought it over for the winter and took it out a couple weeks ago, and it seems to be thriving. We also have some bullseye toothache plant. I have not tried this yet. I'm planning on taking a bite of one and seeing how much numbing effect it really gives you. So we'll see. I'll post another video of that later. Some more peppers, some Purple Heart Wandering Jew, some Striped Wandering Jew. We got some Victorian rhubarb going here. I just had that going in a pot because I wasn't really ready to put it anywhere yet. It seems to be doing well. Some more oregano, a couple extra Victorian rhubarbs that I couldn't give away, and Letty's Sedivaria succulent there. We got some houseplants hanging up over here. Over here my spearmint patch is going wild. I gotta trim this all back. I got some catnip going over there. One of the local wandering cats had been digging it up early in the season. I had to protect it with a little cage for a while. Over here we have some horseradish that I'm very excited about because I thought I lost it all last year. We got a couple little roots that we harvested, and I figured that did away with what was in the ground. But to my surprise, it came up again this year. I have some rosemary in the back, some eucalyptus that lasted from last year. I know I've heard in Jersey that it doesn't really last. Got a big old broadleaf sage bush here. I've already trimmed this back a couple times. The bees were loving these flowers for a while. Some creeping jenny. Having a little bit of problem with that this year. It's always done very well in the sun for us, but this year it seems to be burning in the sun, and then you can see it's thriving in the shadier areas. This is an ice plant. I just picked up this year. It's pretty awesome. Once the sun really starts showing on it for the day, these flowers will open up real nice. Then along the front of the house, I planted a whole bunch of zinnias. So we've got fresh flowers every day. And up on the side of the house here, got a couple things. I've got 2 of those Victorian rhubarbs that are doing really great. I always see people growing patches of rhubarb out in like a field, and they always seem to me like half of them are real beat up. So I was hoping that putting them in this section where they only get a few hours of sun, maybe like 6 hours, would help out, and they seem to be thriving. Could also be the soil. I know that from what I've read, rhubarb needs a lot of fertilizer. So this bed is all composted leaves from the township and then compost that we added in on top. Got some marigolds here, some more peppers. This big guy here is a spinach that we let go to seed. We had only gotten the 1 spinach plant, so it really wasn't even worth picking much off of. And here we got some carrots. I think we're about ready to start harvesting these. We'll probably pull a couple today. Might as well pull one now. There we go. All right. I've had trouble growing carrots the last couple years since we moved to the new house, so I'm happy with this. This is a nice one. And here we have beets. Beets have been a favorite of mine for years, and I have been unsuccessful in ever really growing any. And here we are this year. I've already harvested a couple, and they're not the greatest size, probably because I have them kind of bunched in there, but we did grow some beets this year, so I'm very happy about that. Super excited. And here we have some tomato plants. I actually had peas growing on the back side of the tomato plants, and they were pretty good. Let's see if there's any left over. There we go. I think these are I have to post a name over them. I know we got these from Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds. I want to say like Little Maven or something like that, but yeah, these are amazing, the flavor on these things. Nice big peas, lots of flavor. Good raw even. All right, so as far as tomatoes go over here, this is these were the first ones we got in the ground. They're also, just like the rest of the bed there, it's leaf compost from the township and then compost that we mixed in, and they are doing amazing. We've got some San Marzano over here. You can see them, a couple little guys in there growing up back there. And then we have Barry's Crazy Cherry, and these are supposed to be yellow and very plentiful on the vines. You can see these big groupings of flowers on here, like 10 to 15 flowers on one little string. Next to that we have white Tomasol. I've never grown these. These are new to us. Same thing with the Barry's cherries. They're new to us also, but these white Tomasols, they're supposed to be big, like white colored slicers. So I'm very excited for that. We got a random volunteer here that is producing very nice grape tomatoes. Plenty of them on here, and this thing has come up between these 2 cages and just gone nuts. So we're gonna have plenty of tomatoes. And then what do we got in here? This is a purple bumblebee. And again, another new one. The pictures from the Baker Creek seed packet have kind of like a reddish, greenish fruit, a little grape. So got some more Brad's Atomic grape coming in here. That thing's big, much bigger than I thought they were going to be. Bigger than the ones that are out back, at least, also. So that plant is growing up pretty high. I want to say that's probably, it's pushing about almost 7 feet tall. And then we have a Cherokee Purple. Got a couple of them coming in. It's been a few years since we grew them, so I'm excited. This year all of our tomato plants were from seed. We didn't get anything from the store. I bought the Burpee brand from the store before of those, and they were very good. I'm sure these will be also. We got Bosque Blue Bumblebee. And these guys are actually supposed to be like nice little grape tomatoes that will turn yellow and have like a purplish blue hue around the top. So, very excited to try them. That's a first for us. And the last one over here, we have German Pink. And they're coming along pretty good. Still a little early, but I can see plenty of blooms on here that seem to be just finishing up. So hopefully we're gonna have plenty on there. And like in the other gardens, we did some marigolds, some basil, cilantro, and we just kind of mix that in all throughout. We've just been picking at it whenever we need it. And not to neglect it, we've still got the aquaponics going. Over the winter, I grew a bunch of stuff in here, kind of thinned it out over the last couple months. Still have some Purple Heart Wandering Jew coming up, some Apple Mint, Striped Wandering Jew, Purple Waffle, and then we've got the ginger starting to come back now too. I just cleaned this bed out a couple weeks back. It's still been kind of back and forth of what I actually want to grow in here. You can see the bilge tank is a little bit low right now. You can see our goldfish in there, and there's a couple little tilapias. We usually toss the little guys in here if we find them in the big tank. Let them grow up and have a chance before the big ones eat them. So over here, tilapia tank. You can see some poo floating in there. The water level's just coming back up now to actually get the water flowing through the filters again. It's obviously, you can see it's flowing through the secondary waste filter here, but I just added a new setup on the other side here. I added another 75 gallons of grow space to the mix. I'll take a walk out there and check that out also. So it's a little elevated because I just wanted to have it pump up from the existing pumps that I have and then gravitate back down into the fish tank. So I've got a bunch of holes cut in here. I've got a bunch of tomato plants that we're going to be transplanting. I got to run out the Tractor Supply this morning and get some cattle panels. I'm going to rig it up so that about 2-3 feet above these grow beds, I'm going to set the cattle panel up and hook it to the top of the greenhouse there. And then I'm going to train the tomato plants over. So I'll have a little canopy here, kind of like the pole beans. And just a quick look at the new greenhouse. Still got some second year Carolina Reapers that are coming along. A couple little small fruits on there. Nothing spectacular. Plenty of succulents, all different kinds of succulents. We've got some propagating some monsteras, snake plants. You can see we still have a ton of tomato plants I've been slowly getting rid of. Might have gone a little bit too crazy this year, but it's kind of forcing me to come up with creative ways to plant more of them. Got a bunch of Christmas cacti, some more succulents, flaming Cadies, Aurora borealis. Still got a bunch of little baby pepper plants. I'll probably get some of them into the new aquaponics beds also. Some Tokyo Sun sedum or Tokyo Sun stone crop. Love this stuff. It's nice little ground cover. I haven't experimented with it actually in the ground yet because I'm thinking it might take over, but I don't think it would last the winter either. Got this avocado tree that Jenny started from a seed a couple years back, and yeah, it's finally getting to the point where I think we need to repot that again. So the plan is I'm going to put that in the ground by this post here and let it grow up, and as it grows we're going to train it to bend over to the side and kind of wrap along that post there, that beam. So bunch of hanging plants up here, some variegated spider plants, some wandering Jews, philodendron. Yep. So a lot to do. Next couple weeks I'm gonna hopefully start getting to the point where I can start turning this space back here into the next series of aquaponics stuff. Start getting a fish tank going and a couple little grow beds and just start expanding off from there. So I know the place looks like a mess, but we're working on it. Thanks for walking through the garden with us. I hope you stick around, hit that subscribe button, and check back for more later. Take care.